Chosen one, this was meant for your eyes only. God enabled you to obtain it. There are divine moments in life when what reaches you does so with precision. Not a second too late, not a breath too early. This message is one of those moments. Out of all the noise in the world, this found its way to you because heaven cleared a path for it. You've been sensing it for a while, that something sacred was on its way, something beyond the ordinary, beyond coincidence. What you are about to receive isn't meant for the masses. It's not for crowds. It's not for spectators. This is heaven's whisper to the one who can carry it, the one who has endured, the one who has held on when others gave up, the one who God has trusted with revelation. This is your confirmation. That thing you've been seeing in dreams, that recurring message in your spirit, that alignment you can't explain, it's real. It's not your imagination. You're not making it up. You're not being dramatic. You're not being over-spiritual. You're hearing correctly. You're perceiving what others have missed. And God has ensured that you're now seeing what was veiled before. So before anything else is said, pause. Let it sink in. You're not late. You didn't miss it. You're right on time, and the door has just been opened to you. This message carries a divine energy. Watch this video until the very end, and write your warmest wishes in the comments, and write Amen along with the number 99. This activates the flow and signals to the universe that you're aligned, that you're receptive, and that you're ready for what's been meant for your eyes only. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. This has been building across years, possibly lifetimes. And while others around you may think it came out of nowhere, you know better. You've seen the signs. You've felt the resistance. You've heard the inner call. You've tasted the loneliness that often comes before divine assignments. You've battled discouragement silently. You've smiled while carrying the weight of battles no one else knew about. But through it all, God watched. And every silent tear, every silent prayer, every silent sacrifice was recorded, not by man, but by heaven. You see, when God chooses someone to carry something rare, he separates them, not as a punishment, but as preparation. He removes distractions. He closes certain doors. He blocks connections that would have poisoned the mission. And while others were being celebrated, you were being hidden. While they were being promoted in public, you were being developed in private. And it felt unfair, didn't it? It felt like maybe you were forgotten. But now you're starting to see that the delay was divine. The solitude was sacred. The rejection was redirection. And everything is starting to connect. Everything is beginning to make sense. This is your moment of realization. The assignment was always bigger than you. That's why it took so long. That's why it cost so much. That's why the burden felt so heavy. Because the reward is just as massive. God enabled you to obtain this not because you were perfect, but because you were positioned. Because you obeyed when it didn't make sense. Because you didn't run when it got uncomfortable. Because you stayed when your flesh screamed to walk away. Because you trusted even when the evidence didn't match the promise. This reward, this message, this secret wasn't earned. It was entrusted. And that changes everything. You were handed access. Heaven decided you were mature enough to handle what others would misuse. You were trusted with a truth that isn't public knowledge. You were selected to see what others scroll past. You were awakened while others are still asleep. And that is no small thing. That is weighty. That is divine. And now, the transfer begins. Not just a financial one, but a spiritual one. A divine unlocking is underway. Hidden insight, divine strategies, holy clarity. You're going to know what to do next, and the path will shine like never before. The confusion is lifting. The fog is dissolving. The pieces are clicking into place. You're not going crazy. You're being called higher. You're being calibrated to a new frequency, one that aligns with abundance, truth, power, and assignment. The old version of you couldn't carry this. But the you that stands here today, you've been refined, you've been crushed into clarity, and now you can handle what's coming. Stay aware. From this moment on, seemingly random events will begin to confirm everything in this message. The people you meet, the words you overhear, the signs in the sky, the dreams at night, the shifts in energy, the sudden downloads of understanding. This is no longer theory. This is reality in motion. This is what the preparation was for. And as it unfolds, stay in alignment. Don't announce it too early. Don't try to prove it. You don't need external validation for what God has already confirmed internally. This isn't for them. This is for you. This is sacred. And there's more. You're not just receiving a personal revelation. You're receiving a key, a divine access point. What's been given to you will unlock more than one door. This key is multidimensional. It's going to open spiritual opportunities, creative blueprints, divine relationships, and wealth portals. You're not chasing things anymore. Things will begin to recognize and follow you. Because you've aligned with the design God wrote for your life. There's power in this alignment. There's favor in it. There's acceleration. And that's exactly what's about to begin. Acceleration. You won't have to force it. You won't have to explain it. You won't have to beg for it. God has already touched it. The moment you received this message, the code activated. The transmission began. Your spirit received what your mind is still catching up to. And as the hours pass, your outer life will begin to reflect the shift that just happened internally. That's how you'll know this wasn't just another message. That's how you'll know this was personal. That's how you'll know this was meant for your eyes only. Your steps will now be guided. Your voice will carry new weight. Your presence will shift atmospheres. Your hands will carry blessings. Your name will be remembered for the light you carry. Because God did not send this to tease you. He sent it to position you, to crown you, to commission you. The wait is over. The lock is broken. The sealed envelope has been opened. And now, what was hidden belongs to you. Everything has changed now. From the moment you received what was meant for you, the vibration of your life began to shift. You may not have seen it with your natural eyes yet, but deep within your spirit, you've already felt the tremor. Something cracked open. The invisible became accessible. What was sealed was unveiled. And the moment you allowed yourself to truly receive it, without doubt, without apology, without shrinking, was the moment God released the full measure of what had your name on it. You've always known you were different. You've always felt that your eyes saw through layers others ignored. The surface never satisfied you. Shallow waters never quenched your thirst. You were designed for depth. Designed to navigate the unseen. Designed to walk paths that aren't popular, because they lead to promises others don't even believe exist. This is why the journey has felt so unfamiliar. Because you were never walking a common road. You were blazing a prophetic one. You were being sculpted by God in ways that couldn't be explained, only revealed over time. And now the revealing is in motion. What was once obscured is surfacing. The weight of your preparation is turning into the momentum of your manifestation. What you carried silently is now becoming visible. The very thing you almost gave up on is breathing life again. The clarity you've been craving is approaching you with precision. And the questions that haunted you are losing their voice. Because the answer has arrived, not in the form you expected, not in the timing you wanted, but in a way only God could orchestrate. This is a sacred hour. You've entered a spiritual timeline where what was promised is no longer far off. It's touching the edges of your reality. You can feel it in the quiet moments, in the sudden stillness that overtakes you, in the way your spirit flutters for no reason, in the way signs keep showing up, on clocks, in conversations, in coincidences that are too precise to be random. These are not just signs. These are affirmations from the divine that you are in sync, that you are not being led blindly, but precisely. You are following the trail left for you by the very hand of God. And because of that, you no longer have to fight for recognition. You no longer have to beg for access. The spotlight you were never chasing is now chasing you. The people who overlooked you are beginning to sense your rise. They don't even understand why they suddenly remember you, why your name is being mentioned, why doors are being opened in your direction. But you understand. You know what's happening. God is making known what He developed in secret. Chosen one, it's not just about receiving what was meant for you. It's about carrying it with reverence. You now hold something sacred, something that carries weight in the spirit realm. You are no longer invisible to heaven. You are being highlighted in ways that defy logic. There are conversations happening about you in rooms you've never entered. There are people being assigned to you, people who don't even know why they feel the need to help you, sponsor you, defend you. It's because the energy on your name has shifted. It's because you have become the carrier of something heaven sent. And with that comes a new level of discernment. You're beginning to see people differently. You're noticing things you used to overlook. What once looked appealing is now exposed. The masks around you are slipping. And it's not to hurt you. It's to protect you. God is making sure you see clearly now. No more illusions. No more misplaced loyalty. No more giving access to those who never valued what you carried. You are being preserved for the right connections, the kind that accelerate you, the kind that nourish you, the kind that recognize what's sacred in you. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the time to second guess. You've been cleared to walk in your authority, not because you forced it, but because God endorsed it. There's a weight on your life now, and it's holy. It cannot be explained by titles or social standing. It cannot be measured by numbers or applause. It is felt. It is seen by those with spiritual eyes, and it is honored by heaven itself. You've entered a divine moment that carries ripple effects. What you do now will impact more than just you. It will shift atmospheres. It will break generational patterns. It will establish new blueprints. You are no longer just navigating life. You are shaping legacies. That's why it was important that only you received this. That's why others weren't allowed to see it. That's why this was meant for your eyes only. Because you have the character to protect it, the vision to develop it, the heart to carry it humbly, the discernment to keep it pure. God didn't make a mistake when He chose you. He saw who you were in the dark. He saw how you worshipped with no audience, how you gave with no expectation, how you loved when it wasn't returned, how you believed when it didn't make sense. And because of that, He handed you this assignment. And it is only beginning. You may have thought the main event had already passed, but this was just the prelude. The real unfolding is still ahead. The chapters that will be written now are going to be legendary. Not because you chased the spotlight, but because you walked in truth. And truth always rises. It cannot be silenced. It cannot be buried. It cannot be blocked. What's inside of you is coming to the surface, and the world will not be able to ignore it. Not because of ego, but because of essence. Because what's in you is divine, authored by God, sealed in secrecy, protected by trials, strengthened by solitude, now made visible in glory. And you, chosen one, are the vessel that was prepared to carry it. That was the point all along. You've reached a point where nothing can go back to how it was. Not because you're being dramatic, but because your soul has seen too much. Once you've glimpsed what was hidden, you can't pretend to be blind again. Once God has placed something in your spirit, you can't unknow it. The assignment has become part of your being. You've merged with the message. And even if you tried to return to who you were before this shift, you'd find the old space too small, the old roles too limiting, the old identity unrecognizable. Because something was downloaded into your spirit that has expanded your capacity. The shift wasn't loud. It wasn't announced by trumpets. It was silent, sudden, and sacred. And now you walk with new awareness. You enter rooms differently. You see people differently. You process pain differently. You even breathe differently, because your oxygen is now infused with divine instruction. You are walking proof of quiet transformation, of holy evolution. You're no longer begging to be seen because you know you were selected in secret. The validation you once chased is now irrelevant, because when God reveals purpose to a soul, that soul is never the same again. There's a glow about you now, not always visible to the natural eye, but those with spiritual sensitivity can feel it. They pause when you speak. They listen when you enter. Because there's an energy that surrounds you, one that wasn't manufactured, but ordained. It's not charisma. It's not confidence. It's calling. It's the invisible hand of God pressing gently on your life and saying, "This one carries something." And whether people love you or misunderstand you, the atmosphere still shifts in your presence. And it's not an accident. It's not luck. It's not the result of random chance. It's divine orchestration. You were set apart before you were ever aware of it. And the path that led you here, though filled with pain, wasn't punishment. It was precision. Everything that fell apart was making space for this. Everything that was delayed was protecting this moment. You didn't miss your moment. You became it. Now comes the activation. Now comes the outflow. Because what you've received wasn't meant to be buried. It wasn't just for comfort. It was meant to be carried into the world with discernment and strength. And that's exactly what you're going to do. Not out of striving, but from overflow. The reservoir within you is full, and it's time for what was poured into you to begin pouring out. But not to everyone. This is still sacred. And sacred things are not shared with careless hands. You're being given discernment not just for direction, but for distribution. Not everyone deserves access to what you carry. Not everyone can handle the revelation you walk with. And that's okay. You don't need to explain it. You only need to move in wisdom. You'll notice something strange begins to happen. While others are still trying to figure out what to pursue, you'll begin to attract. While they're chasing alignment, alignment will find you. Because when someone is walking in the rhythm of divine timing, all things begin to work together effortlessly. Opportunities will look for you. Resources will locate you. The support you once begged for will come to you freely. Not because you became more valuable, but because your value is finally being revealed in the right light. And that light doesn't come from this world. It's not man-made. It's not algorithmic. It's not based on trends or social standing. It comes from the throne room of heaven. It comes from the secret place. It comes from obedience in the dark, from sacrifices no one saw, from prayers whispered through tears, from all the times you almost quit, but didn't. That light is divine, and it cannot be dimmed. You're not behind. You're not off track. You're exactly where you're meant to be, and what's unfolding now is proof of that. God is syncing your life to His timing, not the world's, not the crowd's, His. And His timing is always perfect, always intentional, always layered with purpose. So breathe, trust, move with the flow, not against it. What's coming next will not require striving. It will require receiving. Your role is not to force it. Your role is to remain open, alert, and aligned. There's no room for panic here, only presence. And you, chosen one, are fully present in this sacred hour. You have seen what others missed. You have heard what others ignored. You have received what others rejected. And that means you're ready. Ready to walk through the next door. Ready to embody the truth you've been entrusted with. Ready to hold the weight of the blessing that others would have fumbled. Ready to live from the blueprint, not the opinions. Ready to lead with spirit, not ego. Ready to become the evidence that obedience produces overflow. And it won't be long now. In fact, it's already happening. Watch how things begin to bend toward you. Watch how pieces rearrange themselves. Watch how divine connections form with ease. Watch how what once eluded you now sits quietly in your hands. Because you've stepped into resonance, into remembrance, into the realm of it is done. And so, it begins to show. Not in the loud, explosive way the world expects, but in the subtle shifts that only the spiritually alert can detect. Your posture is changing. Your energy is commanding attention. Not because you demanded it, but because the weight of what you carry is undeniable now. What was once an inner stirring has become an outward expression. There's no need to convince anyone anymore. Your presence alone carries the frequency of transformation. Doors are starting to respond. Not just ordinary ones, but ancient doors. Gates that have been sealed to everyone else are unlocking for you. Systems are adjusting. Paths are clearing. Timing is aligning in ways that defy explanation. You'll find yourself in rooms you didn't campaign for, conversations you didn't initiate, connections you didn't expect. Not because you manipulated your way in, but because the divine current carried you. There is a supernatural assistance at work now. A grace that covers what your strength can't accomplish. You'll notice it when you're not even trying, and things begin to unfold smoothly. You'll speak less and produce more. You'll move slower and achieve greater impact. That's because this isn't natural momentum. This is heaven's wind behind your back. God is carrying you with precision, ensuring you land where you belong, even if the journey makes no sense to the people watching from afar. And many will watch. Some silently, some with awe, others with confusion or even envy. But none of that will affect you. You've outgrown the need for approval. You've detached from the noise of opinion. You've anchored yourself to the divine whisper that never failed you. That's why you've become unshakable. That's why the storms couldn't destroy you. They refined you. They revealed you. They confirmed that you're not like the rest. You're not random. You're not replaceable. You are chosen. And being chosen doesn't mean comfort. It means calling. It means responsibility. It means carrying weight others can't. And you've done that well, even when no one clapped, even when no one noticed, even when the rewards seemed non-existent. But now something has shifted in heaven's atmosphere concerning your life. The time of recognition has arrived, not for your ego, but for your assignment. God is placing your name in the mouths of people with power. You're becoming a topic of divine discussion. You're being written into the next phase of someone else's breakthrough, because your obedience has ripple effects. Don't be surprised when things accelerate. Don't be alarmed when people from your past begin to reappear, suddenly remembering your name. Don't be thrown off when you feel a pull in your spirit to move, relocate, shift your focus. These are all signs that the alignment has begun. And you'll know it's real because it won't come with confusion. It won't require force. It won't drain you. It will flow. Because divine movement doesn't exhaust, it energizes. And as this continues, your authority will deepen. You'll speak less, but your words will carry more impact. You'll show up less often, but your presence will linger longer. Because what you carry now is dense with revelation. Every step you take is a declaration of victory. Every move you make is backed by the heavenly blueprint. You've stopped guessing. You've started walking in knowing. And that is the most powerful state you can exist in, when you no longer seek signs because you are the sign. There will be whispers. There will be assumptions. People will say, How did this happen for them? But they weren't there in the wilderness. They didn't hear the voice in the silence. They didn't see the nights you cried, the battles you fought, the surrender it took to get here. Let them wonder. You don't owe explanations. You only owe obedience. And you've already proven that you'll follow God, even when it costs you everything. And now God is honoring that trust, not with crumbs, not with second-hand blessings, but with fullness, with overflow, with divine returns that dwarf what you sacrificed. He's restoring every year that felt like a loss. He's redeeming every moment that seemed wasted. He's rewriting your story in real time. And this chapter is called Reward. There is favor on you now that you didn't chase. There are opportunities looking for you that don't make sense on paper. That's how you know God is involved. Because He moves outside of formulas. He elevates beyond logic. He blesses in ways that cannot be traced back to human effort. And that's what makes this season of your life so different. You're no longer manifesting from desire. You're manifesting from divine permission. And divine permission carries a force of its own. It can't be revoked. It can't be sabotaged. It can't be stolen. Because what God gives under covenant is untouchable. And this, what you've received, what you've seen, what's unfolding, is covenant. It was sealed long ago, but now it's becoming visible. And the moment it appears, nothing can stop it. This is why the warfare increased before now. This is why the pressure intensified. The enemy always attacks right before manifestation. But he failed. He miscalculated. He underestimated how deeply rooted you had become, how grounded your faith was, how relentless your soul had decided to be. And now, it's too late. You've seen too much. You've grown too much. You've risen too far. The next level doesn't require performance. It requires presence. Your presence. The version of you that is awakened, aligned, and appointed. This is not a season of striving. It's a season of arriving. And you, chosen one, are arriving with a divine glow that this world cannot ignore. Now that you've arrived at this pivotal point, everything around you is beginning to respond. Not because you shouted for it, not because you demanded it, but because your alignment with divine timing has made you magnetic to fulfillment. You've become a living confirmation of what it means to be trusted by God with something sacred. What you're carrying is no longer potential. It is power in motion. It is destiny unfolding without delay. You are walking evidence that quiet seasons produce the strongest warriors. You didn't need a platform to be prepared. You didn't need applause to be validated. You didn't even need reassurance. Because deep down, even in the silence, you always knew God was working behind the scenes. You knew that something divine had been placed in your life. And now, what was placed in secret is being positioned in plain sight. There's no denying the shift. It is visible in the way doors open before you knock. It is present in the way people sense something different about you before you even speak. And still, this is only the beginning. You're just now stepping into the manifestation of promises that have been long kept in waiting. You're entering territories that your name was written into long ago. But now, finally, your presence and the promise have intersected, and there is power in that collision. Power. The moment your preparation meets your divine assignment, a new realm of influence opens. You are no longer climbing. You are now commanding. But this command isn't loud. It's not boisterous. It's sacred. It comes from within. It's the quiet confidence that flows when you know you've been trusted by God to see something rare. When you know your eyes have been opened to secrets that were never meant for the crowd. This wasn't revealed to you by accident. This wasn't shared with you to be wasted. You've been chosen to see it because you have the spiritual discipline to protect it. That's why your journey has been different. That's why your relationships shifted. That's why certain things didn't work out. Because had they continued, they would have interfered with the purity of your perception. God needed your eyes clear. He needed your ears uncluttered. He needed your heart whole. And though it hurt at times, the cleansing was necessary. The disconnection was sacred. And now, because of your willingness to surrender, you're seeing the reward unfold. It's not just wealth that's coming to you. It's wisdom. It's discernment. It's spiritual authority. The kind of authority that can't be faked. The kind that only comes after you've been through the fire and came out refined instead of bitter. The kind that heaven recognizes. The kind that makes atmospheres respond when you enter the room. And now, because you carry this, you've become the answer to someone else's silent prayer. Yes, you. The very one who felt unseen, uncelebrated, and underestimated. You are now the vessel that God is using to bring light into dark places. You are the messenger. You are the evidence. You are the sign someone's been waiting on. Not because you are better, but because you were willing. Willing to carry it. Willing to stay faithful. Willing to keep going when nothing made sense. Willing to believe when there was no reason left to. And that faith has crowned you. You've entered a divine release. Resources will no longer be scarce. Connections will no longer feel forced. Answers will no longer feel distant. You have stepped into a timeline where what you need begins to reach for you. Where what you've sown in silence returns with interest. Where the harvest arrives faster than expected. Because God has seen your hidden work. He has seen your restraint. He has seen your broken moments. And now, the reward is being made manifest. And here's what's truly miraculous. You don't have to force anything anymore. The grace on your life is enough. The calling on your name is strong. And the timing has finally caught up with your preparation. That means you can breathe now. You can rest, not because the work is over, but because the striving is. Your next season will be marked by flow, not friction. By acceleration, not delay. By favor, not fatigue. You've made it to the part of your journey where you no longer have to chase. You attract. You no longer have to prove. You simply be. And as you walk in that truth, you'll start to notice something incredible. People will come to you for light, for answers, for peace. And you'll offer it. Not from a place of ego, but from overflow. You won't be drained because you'll be filled with divine energy. You won't be discouraged because you'll see the results of your obedience in real time. And as this unfolds, you'll be tempted to downplay it, to shrink, to stay silent. But don't. Stand in it. Own it. You didn't come this far to retreat. You didn't endure all of that to now question your worth. You were built for this, molded for this, chosen for this. You're not here by coincidence. You're here because God designed this very moment for your arrival. You've entered the realm of fulfillment, the place where divine visions become daily reality, the place where dreams speak louder than doubts, the place where supernatural provision follows you without effort, because you are in divine alignment, and everything in your life is now bending toward your breakthrough. Let it unfold. Let it accelerate. Let it become everything God said it would be. You are ready. This is the moment where everything within you and everything around you finally agrees. This was always yours. The doors that stayed closed for so long weren't denials. They were divine pauses, perfectly timed so that you would arrive here in full maturity. Not half-healed, not half-ready, but whole, aligned, and fully aware of what you carry. Because now you know, this isn't just a blessing. It's a responsibility wrapped in favor. You have been enabled by God to obtain what others never even knew existed. You were granted access to realms that most never reach, not because you climbed faster, but because you surrendered deeper. You yielded when it would have been easier to fight. You listened when others shouted. You stayed quiet when silence was the real proof of strength. And now you are living proof that obedience births overflow.